would you tell our daughter not to listen to me?
Yeah, fear-mongering, being bullied. Probably the same reasons you corrected me.
What?
I told you.
You told me behind noodles.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I supposed to understand it behind noodles?
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Fear-mongering.
It's not fear-mongering.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
Pure fear-mongering.
No, it's not.
When you want something for her to do, you want to scare the hell out of her for you to do it.
No, I don't.
Oh, yes, you do.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what we were talking about with the nurse the other day. Stating that with the
And
other...
nothing to do. Oh, so do I see any coconut oil in this house? No. Okay.
What?
I see any coconut oil in this house?
Yeah, forgot to buy any.
Mm-hmm.
Make a damn list.
So that was more important than the recipe that the nurse gave you. Yeah. Okay.
With discussing with the nurse, if you will quit cutting me off.
Okay.
Stating that it could have been happening around the time periods when all the different treats came to school. And me simply telling our daughter that if she starts bleeding in the next couple days, that might have a clue of where it's coming from is not fear-mongering.
The way you said it, she was scared. She jumped back, so that's why I told her to not listen to you.
You could have said not listen to that. You didn't have to tell her not to listen to me.
Well, you do the same thing to me, so I just said to do the same thing to you.
Yeah, but when I say it about you, it's because you're getting cruel with her.
I am not getting cruel. I said use your brain.
Yeah, as if she doesn't use her brain.
I didn't say that. You put that in there. You made it up.
I did not make it up.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not. You were...
I didn't say anything about not using your brain. I said use your brain. Take a minute to calm down and think about what you're doing.
Then tell her to think about what she's doing, but not to accuse her of not using her brain by telling her to use her brain.
You're just putting all the rest of the stuff behind my back. I don't have much faith in you. First of all, hiding that she's been bleeding since then. It doesn't get brought to the doctor until the school calls. And then all of a sudden now it's more of an important priority since I told her to not listen to you about her, you snapping back at her saying, oh, you're going to bleed if you eat that.
Well, I'm not saying she's going to bleed if she eats that. That was me stating that if she is, then we might have a clue of where it's coming from.
Yeah, but you don't have to say that to her.
Is she aware that she's bleeding?
No.
Okay, then I'll quit talking to her about it.
Okay. But you didn't have to say it right then and there, so that's why I said don't listen to her.
It was my fear of whatever she...
Well, keep it.
Am I supposed to run to you every single time that I wipe her and she has blood?
No, but you're supposed to do what you... But when we talked about our decision before...
Of contacting them?
Yeah.
Well, I needed more information. I contacted them when I had the little bit of more information as about where her belly was hurting. Because that might have given them...
No, what we discussed was if it happened again.
Even if... I know from my own thing that it can happen multiple times, but if they don't have enough information, they can't pinpoint it.
But we discussed and came to an agreement that if it happened again, that we would contact the doctor's office.
And...
I didn't remember no and.
I know from my own.
Yeah, but that wasn't what we agreed.
Ray, what am I... Okay, if I...
So you were keeping it purposely from me, so I wouldn't push it.
No, I kept it purposely from you because then you would just tell me to call, but I still don't have enough...
Which is what we agreed on that night.
Will you stop interrupting me?
You're going to just put another excuse up there. I'm not going to shoot it right back down.
It's not an excuse.
Oh, an excuse was I didn't call her because we needed more information. That just suddenly popped out of nowhere.
Okay, and so from the little bit of information that they have, now it's blood work. I'm not sure what the blood work is supposed to be for, unless it's just to make sure that she has enough blood with bleeding
Yeah,
going on.
That's all it was. It was just to make sure that A, her blood, she had a high red blood cell count, wasn't anemic, and B, a food sensitivity test. Because they're just looking for things.
Right.
I don't think she's anemic the way she's been running around.
Neither do I. But
that's why it was an option for us.
If I'd have contacted them earlier, we might not have even gotten that. I think the allergies test suggestion is only because if her belly is hurting and Mia's claiming that it hurts a lot, that they're thinking that that might be the relation. I don't think the blood allergy thing has anything to do with the bleeding.
It's not the blood allergy, it's the food sensitivity. It's the one that you took.
No, it's not. It's not the same name.
So what was the name that you got?
I'd have to look it up.
Why don't you?
You mean the one of mine or the one that's on the test?
No, the one that you took.
I'd have to look it up.
That's what I said.
Well, why are you talking to me like this?
Because trying to get little things through your head is hard. You just come up with an excuse not to do it and why it's different.
No, I don't.
Well, you just said, oh, it's the same test. It is the same test. It was a food sensitivity blood test that you got before.
It's not. At least it's not the same name.
Show it to me.
I'd have to go look online.
Okay.
But I'm not doing that right now.
All right.
But I know from the name that I saw on the report, the summary, that it's not the same name.
It wasn't the same name that was told to us during the call?
I don't know if she's mentioned what it was. She just mentioned the cost. That's what I remember.
She just said it was a food sensitivity test.
Yeah, but like I said, when I looked on the report, there is a little name. There was nothing that I could click for it to go to, because if I saw the logo, maybe it does come from the same company that mine was from, but it's not the same.
I didn't say the same company, I said the same test.
Well, if it is, I don't know, because I don't know how many allergy tests there are.
It's not an allergy test.
What is it? The food sensitivity test. Well, if I came up with a bunch of food sensitivities, I would have considered it an allergy.
Yeah, it's two different things.
Well, yeah, they might be. But if it's happening in my body, I'm going to consider it what I need it to be for me to act on it. To be sensitive to something is not that big of a reaction. If I consider it an allergy, I'm going to be really serious about it. And like I was explaining to Mia, because I told her that the doc, is what I'm calling it, on the screen that we talked to, wants her to get some blood drawn so that they can check and make sure things are fine. She gets nervous about that. And I'm trying to calm her down about it, and then explaining to her that they also want another allergy test, sensitivity test, because I gave her the example of, like, if we use all these peppers in our dishes, but maybe that's something that irritates her belly to make it hurt, then we would need to know not to add so many of those into our dishes, or maybe not at all, if it's such an issue for her.
Okay.
Trying to explain it to her so that she can not be scared, and letting her know that the blood work isn't something that's going to happen tomorrow. It's something she can have an idea of, just knowing it can happen, to get calm with it. I'm just working with what I can with all the other stuff that I've got going on. Like if she had, like, my doctor, which is just a normal doctor, and the bleeding thing, I don't know if, the first jump would have been to colonoscopy or something that I would consider more invasive for her little body, since that was the first jump back when it happened for me, back when I was a teenager. If I go to a place without a lot of information, I'm just scared for what they're going to want to do to her to test. And when they still might not get any answers, because I never got any answers.
Yeah, because there's not much things. I mean, you just have a few food sensitivity stuff, those fissures, there's actually one thing I actually thought was more closely related to you guys is a genetic condition with blood vessels being close to the surface.
Well, and that could be it too.
Which has nothing, they can't do anything about. I mean, it could explain why you don't get, you can't draw blood very good. And it's just a weird genetic condition. It's nothing you need to worry about in the future.
Well, because, I mean, the blood vessel thing was even something I was talking to her about tonight when she was scared about, someone taking blood from her. I was just like, well, we don't know yet if you have veins like mommy's or veins like daddy's. If it's veins like mommy's, it could hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard to find. If you have veins like daddy's, it'll be really easy and it probably won't hurt much at all.
Yeah.
I said, but that's the thing that we don't know right now because we've never had anybody put needles into your skin.
Needles and blood work are two different things too.
Well, mentioning needles in her
Yeah.
skin, she immediately went to, I don't want them to kill me.
Yeah.
So it's just, trying to talk about things in a way that, help her understand that it's not gonna hurt her. I mean, it might hurt in the moment. It depends on who does it. And like I mentioned, my veins are your veins. Because mine always hurt. And they'll blow. And that hurts even more.
Then now the blood they only need it too.
Hmm?
So now the blood they only need doesn't change from kid to adult.
I know. And, that's where I get concerned for her just because I don't want to traumatize her with any of these things, which was part of why, even when the bleeding happened again, I didn't just go rush and call because I don't want to freak her out.
I know, that's why I've been trying to keep quiet about it. I was still telling you.
Okay, well, I mean, even if I'd use different words, like if your belly hurts after having that.
Just let us know.
Well, that's what I could have said if I would have known that you wanted the focus to be more on just like the belly hurting and not so much the bleeding and keeping the bleeding between me and you. Because I don't know how much, she knows about what we know. Because if you see something, I don't know if she looks in to see if when I hear you make whatever noise you do when I know that something's going on when you wipe her. I don't know if she's picked up on it.
No, she hasn't.
Well, I mean, I don't.
I even haven't, so.
But I don't see any of this as me making excuses. It's just me knowing that in the route that I have taken in something similar, it went to something extreme and still got no answers, and just not wanting it to get so extreme so that quickly for her.
Well, it could be.
I mean, we might have to, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and from reading the things about bleeding, it goes but it says, well, if there's like nausea, headaches, flu-like symptoms, then you start really worrying.
Well, yeah.
But she hasn't had that.
Well, just like if her belly hurts on the lower right, there's reason to be concerned because that could be an appendicitis issue.
But is that the lower right, like here, or is it around here?
Well, I just went, that's where, I contacted them after getting that message from Miss Nicole because she mentioned the lower right abdomen is where she pointed out. And, that just gave me some kind of clue as to if they're going to be trying to figure out where something might be happening from that they know.
Yeah, but kids don't know sometimes their own bodies.
Well, I know, but that's where, she hasn't been telling us if her belly hurts necessarily.
Because it's always grumbly. I can't figure out if it's from indigestion or she doesn't like the food or she's hungry.
I know. Well, and just like with her age, if her belly hurts, is it because she's hungry, because she needs to poop, because she's been holding in stress?
Yeah.
You know, there's all this other stuff that she
Right.
doesn't know how to communicate about it yet.
Yeah, but I do think it's not acute. That means it doesn't hurt when it's tender.
Yeah, I mean, because it didn't hurt just when it was getting palpated in
Yeah.
the week before with the doctor checkup.
Mhm. And I poked her belly a couple of times too, asking for her. And I go, does it hurt here, or here, kind of stuff. And she just is like, hurts all over, and doesn't let out any sign about it hurting in a specific spot. So yeah, but I know from her from before, it's just like, does your belly hurt or grumble? And it's just like, yeah. Or are you hungry? And it's like, yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess for us to know, you know, are we going to check in daily to see if her belly hurts and start documenting that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna check in with her because I'm more concerned about what she eats and um, to see if there's a common ingredient. Just because you had the same exact problem at the same time in January, but I mean, just from the scab that comes off and how where it's at, it could be something towards the very end. Because they also said it could be from a polyp where it just gets ripped off during a big poop, but.
But her poops have never been dry like mine.
Yeah. Hers are more like mine.
Hey, how long do you think it would take for my tax return to get in?
Like I said, if they send it by mail, I don't know.
Okay.
If it's
Well, it's direct deposit.
if it's direct deposit, normally it could take less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
In this kind of environment, hard to say.
Okay. Did you ever go to Costco by the way?
What?
So did you ever go to Costco by the way?
I haven't gone there.
Okay.
If you want something from there, tell me.
Okay.
Don't forget your Indiana.
Huh?
Don't forget your Indiana.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because you don't get much back, but you could be owing some if you're like.
I didn't know any, but I know Sarah owed some. I don't know why.
No, I'm talking about if you're late, you get penalties.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah ended up owing a bunch for state. For some reason, they never took anything out for her at Jets. So she had to owe it all back, what she should have been getting out of her paycheck.
Yeah, they do that commonly for minors.
I'm gonna go to Burger King or something.
Are you coming back after that?
Yeah, it's just on the street.
Oh, just on the street, we don't know what's going on with Sarah.
Well, that's why I asked if he's coming back,
Yeah,
because
okay. Because I don't even know what the recipe of the balls or smooth poops is.
I don't either. I mean, I might have to send a message asking for it because it wasn't in any of the
Okay, I
links.
didn't know that, but I mean, I don't have access to their website, so I don't know.
Because I clicked on things yesterday, and then I went back in and I clicked in things today to see if there was more than there was the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other forms, but then it was like the lab workup, so I printed that off as the more concrete reminder to, you know, discuss with you whether we want to get it done, and then, you know, to keep me abreast as to what.
The thing I didn't know, which I do know now from her, is these anal fissures or these scrapes, I guess, can take months to be fixed. That's something that's just like, oh, once it disappears, because, you know what I mean, in a couple of days or a week it's gone, it doesn't come back. But then again, also, I didn't kind of put two and two together, but I read about those anal fissures before, like a week ago before the doctor's office, they said some of these things are created in infancy. And it's just like, I didn't think about them being that long.
Well, I mean, I know I came from a household where even babies being constipated was normal. Thankfully, she's never been that way.
Yeah. she is kind of, I think she is kind of regular with the, what do you call it? When she comes home. I think that's, she kind of is like Gavin and saves it all. She doesn't want to do,
She doesn't want to have to wipe herself at school or get embarrassed.
mm-hmm. So, yeah. I don't even remember that name. It was Mama something. It was like Mama Pusa or something like that. I want to recipe real quick about prune juice and wheat bran mixed together, and it's like, it's a lot. Mama knows. Mhm. There it is. Mama Pottas. Oh, constipation candy.
So what all was in it?
1 cup of extra virgin coconut oil melted, 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of honey or maple syrup or coconut sugar, and then 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. Use some silicone molds, or something, and I'm surprised it works. And then 2 constipation candies, whatever, I don't know what the size is, but and then 8 to 18 hours later it comes out. So it'll be like eating it in the morning, hopefully. Maybe not the first time. Like do it start on a weekend, but
Well, because she wasn't sure of that one just because of, her poop's already looking pretty soft.
mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, but I was like thinking like if it's those things, maybe even giving it
The coconut oil coating and helping.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what's used. Coconut oil is used. What's used in those hemorrhoid relief suppositories. It's almost pure coconut oil. But yeah, I don't know. She was thinking more of going from this soft stuff that she has now to like icing, but not a puddle of diarrhea. You know what I mean? They called me later that day and asked about, oh, did we have to do a follow-up? And it's like, that was one thing I didn't hear anything about.
Needing to follow up?
Yeah. So.
I wouldn't imagine they would unless we got the things done like the allergy or, the sensitivity test.
Yeah.
And then the blood work to let us know how things were. But more if there were things in the sensitivity test versus the other one.
Because I'm wondering if they're ever going to come back with anything. They didn't ask for anything to be paid for, so.
No, I saw in the bill section that they have it as billed to insurance. Just when it comes to that sensitivity test, that it wouldn't be.
Yeah, but I thought they had $100 concierge fee.
Robin might not do that. I know if, like for the adults that regularly want to see them about an issue, that's what it's like.
Okay. So that's what I was thinking it was about.